So, a powerful new AI just got unleashed, and in a matter of days, it was used to create millions of fake, sexualized images. Now, a major world power is stepping in, and believe me, the tech world is holding its breath. This is the story of X, its AI Grok, and the European Union's fight to get a handle on it.
Okay, let's just start with a number, and it's a big one. 3 million. In just a few days, that's how many fake sexualized images of women and children were created by a single AI tool. And we're not talking about some technical glitch here. This was a full-blown emergency.
So, what exactly went down? Well, the whole problem kicked off with Grok, the new AI chatbot from X. It was supposed to be this cutting-edge, innovative feature, right? But it was almost instantly turned into a weapon for mass harassment.
The term for what was happening is digital undressing. And, we have to be super clear about this. This isn't some harmless prank or a funny meme. It is a profound violation. It's using incredibly sophisticated tech to create fake, deeply personal images of people without their consent, and it causes very, very real harm.
And here's the part that is just mind-boggling. How incredibly easy it was. You didn't need any special skills, you didn't need to be a programmer. Anyone could type in a simple, awful command, and the AI would just create a deepfake. That's why this whole thing exploded so fast, hitting millions of images in literally just a few days.
So, faced with this absolute crisis, the European Union, well, they didn't wait around. Their response was fast and it was strong. They drew a very clear red line and sent a message that this kind of technological recklessness was just not going to fly. And listen, this wasn't just some dry, bureaucratic response. No, this was a moral one. The EU's top leader, Ursula von der Leyen, she came out swinging. She called the behavior unthinkable and framed it exactly for what it is, a direct threat to people, especially to children.
So what's the legal weapon the EU is using here? It's called the Digital Services Act, or the DSA. You can basically think of it as Europe's brand new rulebook for the internet. And it puts the responsibility, the onus, squarely on the big platforms like X to have safeguards in place. They have to prevent this kind of illegal and harmful content from spreading. The EU is now investigating whether X just completely dropped the ball with Grok.
You see, this conflict, it's about way more than just one AI tool. What we're really looking at here is a fundamental clash of philosophies. On one side, you've got that classic Silicon Valley mantra of move fast and break things. And on the other, you have the EU's very different safety-first approach, which demands that these incredibly powerful tools are actually safe before they're released to the public.
And to really get why the EU's reaction was so severe, you gotta look at the history here. Because this isn't the first time X has found itself in hot water with the regulators in Brussels. The Grok crisis is really just the latest and maybe most serious chapter in an ongoing saga. And that story? Yeah, it comes with a pretty hefty price tag. We're talking 120 million euros. That's the fine Exos recently hit with by the EU for a whole bunch of other violations. So there's already a clear history here of what regulators see as a pattern of non-compliance. Just look at this timeline and you can see how fast everything escalated. That huge fine back in December, it was like a warning shot, right? It was over things like the blue checkmark system. Now, just a few months later, we've got a formal investigation into Grok. For the EU, this looks like a clear pattern of behavior, and you get the sense their patience has completely run out. But here's where it gets even more complicated. This isn't just a simple fight between a company and a regulator. No way. This is all playing out on a much, much larger stage, and it's getting tangled up in the already strained relationship between the United States and the European Union. Apparently, the U.S. administration was not at all happy about that previous EU fine against X. So this new legal action, it just adds another layer of tension to an already complex relationship, one that already has disagreements over big things like trade, the war in Ukraine, and even issues around Greenland. Suddenly, this tech fight has become a political one. Okay, so let's just boil this all down for a second. The accused, X and its AI, Grok. The charge, essentially allowing the mass generation of fake sexual images of women and minors without their consent. The law being used, the EU's Digital Services Act, and the risk for X is, well, it's enormous. We're talking massive fines, sure, but also strict orders to fundamentally fix how its AI works. When you get right down to it, The European Union is sending an absolutely unmistakable message to Silicon Valley and to the entire tech world. Their argument is pretty simple. Releasing an AI tool this powerful that could be so easily and so predictably abused was an act of pure recklessness. Innovation is great, but it cannot, and they're saying will not, be allowed to come at the expense of human safety and dignity.
This whole showdown could set a huge precedent for how AI is regulated all over the world, really forcing a choice between speed and safety. And that leaves us with this massive question, not just for X or the EU, but really for all of us. In this incredible race to build AI, who is actually responsible for the finish line?